Right now on Up with KREM, the Washington State Fire Marshal says he's one of many state employees that will lose their job over Governor Inslee's vaccine mandate.
It's very, very unfortunate, but I'm going to leave the patrol.
Up with KREM begins now.
Well, good morning and thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Channing Curtis.
TGIF. Hey there, friends. I'm Tim Pham. Let's start off with some good news to report. Take a look at this. This is a live map of all of the active fires from the Department of Natural Resources. And as you can see, there's not a lot going on. Right now, there's only 3 left. Such
good news. And even more good news today, the burn restrictions in Spokane County area will be officially lifted in just hours. So that includes Cheney, Liberty Lake, Millwood, the Valley, and Airway Heights. And that means recreational fires will be allowed, but everyone still needs to be careful out there. So maybe have some fire extinguishing equipment nearby and just keep your fire small.
So this, of course, all thanks to the cooler and wetter conditions across our region. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick in this morning in the Weather Center to tell us a little bit more about why this is the case, why those burn restrictions are even being lifted, and also about what our weekend forecast looks like.
Yeah, a lot to cover. In fact, I wanted to hit on the drought because I haven't been able to so far on this morning show. But of course, spring and summer was incredibly dry, record dry in some areas in eastern Washington. Finally got that rainfall. Really, well, the faucet turned on, to put an analogy to it, last month. The latest update in our drought monitor is that the exceptional drought trimmed back by a couple more percentage points, now down to just 25% of the state. That's down another 4% from last week. In fact, last week it was about like that, the extent of that exceptional drought. So just trimming back on that exceptional drought just a little bit more. It will take several months, though, for us to fully recover from those drought conditions. But between the cooler weather and the rain recently, things have been improving. 36 in Spokane is marking the coldest morning that we felt so far this fall. The sunshine that we're getting today is going to help to warm us up very quickly this afternoon. Low 60s for the high temperatures. Will be a quite mild day to finish off the week. As for the weekend, Saturday's looking great. Sunday, not so much. Rain and wind in the forecast with shades of a windstorm, to put it that way, for this Sunday. So I'm going to time out the impacts of that weather system for our region in my full forecast in just a few minutes.
Well, the city's huge library project has some exciting developments.
That's right. Nicole Hernandez is live at one of the new libraries to give us a sneak peek before it all opens. We'll get back to her actually in just a little bit because these new libraries are going to be unbelievable. We've been taking a look at them all morning long. Absolutely incredible, and the kids are going to love this.
Yeah, so this is part of their big, huge expansion and renovations of a lot of their libraries across the city. Of course, the one on Sprague, the Hive, which kind of supports the arts, is already open, and it is just beautiful. So these 2 libraries slated to open very soon, and the projects have been in the works for years, and it's part of a multi-million-dollar project. That building and renovation is happening at many libraries. The Hive, the brand new library on Sprague, already open, as we just said, and then the new Shadle Library is opening in early November. So we'll have much more from Nicole a little bit later in the show.
All right, let's get right to your morning rush. More news in less time.
Up first, the Washington State Fire Marshal says he's expecting to lose his job with the state's vaccine mandate when it goes into effect. Chuck LeBlanc received a medical exemption, but claims the state will not make accommodations for him to stay. He says he's not against the vaccine, but the mandate, and that's put him in this position.
It's very, very unfortunate, but I'm going to leave the patrol absolutely loving and appreciating the blessing it has been in my life.
Well, he joined a lawsuit along with hundreds of others against the mandate. The state says roughly 70% of its employees are vaccinated.
Police arrested 2 East Valley Middle School students for disruptive behavior on a school bus. And we had a few parents reach out to us about this incident yesterday. According to police, they pulled the bus over after receiving a call about a group of 7th and 8th graders. East Valley School District staff also responded. Officers say the situation was under control and that the bus took the students to school, but the situation escalated again later in the day. Police ended up arresting a 14-year-old girl and a 12-year-old boy at school. They were taken to the Spokane County Juvenile Detention Center.
In Pullman, Cougs will need to bring proof of vaccination to Gisa Field if they want to attend the WSU homecoming game or any future game. Any fans over the age of 12 will need to bring their vaccine card or a negative COVID test. Kiosks to approve entry will be open 3 hours before kickoff. Masks are also required, and the Cougs, in case you didn't know, playing Oregon State, and kickoff is at 1 o'clock.
The beluga whale spotted off the Washington coast is still hanging around. Take a look at this video taken by our sister station in Seattle. Scientists will be using these new clips to try and figure out where the whale came from, if it's a male or a female, and if it's in any distress.
Is there a probability that it will not survive here?
That's another reason why we're tracking it and trying to see if it's a sick animal. Is that why it traveled as far as it did? Is it a healthy animal and somehow got lost or something?
National experts believe the beluga traveled from the Cook Inlet in Alaska near Anchorage. That's more than 1,000 miles away. They say taking it back to Alaska is unlikely, but it's not completely off the table.
That's your morning rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media. Well, here's a live look at beautiful downtown Spokane and the iconic clock tower. Decades ago, the city was going to tear it down, but that launched a huge campaign to save the landmark. And now the city is honoring the man who led the charge.
And that's something to take on City Hall. It's not for the weak of heart,